All right, welcome back. So, as far as I know, me and Brad and Jesse and Ty are probably the most active people in the beer community on YouTube. And we've done a lot of different beers here in Oklahoma, but we're wanting to do a video, me and Brad, about breweries in Oklahoma City area. If you're visiting, if you live in Oklahoma and you're wondering about breweries to hit in Oklahoma City, and you only got one day to go, I'm gonna give you my top five. Brad's gonna give you his top five, and then we both have a list of three of breweries that we think you should not attend, that you should not go to. Just stay away. Uh, so let's start with Brad. What's your number five?
My number five is Roughtail.
Okay. Do you have a reason?
Here lately, they've been kicking out really good beers. Everything that I've had from in there the last couple of times I've went, from stouts to sours to IPAs, has all been way better than the last couple of years. And their tap room's pretty nice.
Yeah, I agree. Their tap room is probably one of the biggest ones that we've been to locally.
Yeah, they definitely have a big tap room. That sucker holds a lot of people.
Yeah, they got a main room, and then they have a side room, and then they have outside as well.
Yeah, and their outside's got the walk-up bar window. It's pretty cool.
And really, their tap list is pretty big. I think they may have 20, 25 taps.
Yeah, and it's all of it. Like I said, everything's good, from like Belgian strong ales, all of it. It's all really good right now.
Their IPAs. Brad just did their pickle beer. They even have some old, some old stouts from like 2019, 2018, something around there.
You can buy cans and drink in there.
Yeah.
They've got wine and snacks. They've got all kinds of shit.
And here in Oklahoma City, if you don't know, if you're new, most of the breweries are going to be kid friendly. Some are dog friendly. None are cat friendly. Cats are assholes. That's why I have a few. But I agree. Roughtail is a good top five brewery here in Oklahoma City. My number five is Lively, for the simple fact that it seems like if you follow any of these breweries on social media like I do, at least every 1 to 2 weeks they're kicking out a brand new beer. They have a very big, well lit, nice tap room. It's open during the summer months and spring months. They'll have the garage doors open. It's very bright, so unlike Roughtail, it's really earth tones and dark. A place you'd love to drink, like you said, a strong ale or a stout. But Lively, they just kick out new beers all the time, and that's just that's what I want. I don't want to go to a brewery that has the same shit. By the way, there's cursing in these videos. The same shit every time you go. All right. So, what's your number four?
Well, my number four is Skydance as a brewery, but they don't have their own brewery yet. They're working on it. Yeah. And it looks like it's going to be pretty nice from the pictures they post on Facebook.
And the good thing about Skydance is they'll be 1 block from Prairie OKC and 2 blocks from Vanessa House, and 3 blocks, unfortunately, from. But
yeah, the Brewers Union, while you're there, there's other good beers to try. Everything I've had from Skydance is just great, from their, beginner, Pilsner. What is that? Is that what it is? It's a Pilsner, right?
Yeah. Base lagers.
Yeah, but all the way to the dry hop, double dry hop, fancy dance. Those beers are amazing.
Oh yeah, Jake is doing a really good job with the NE IPAs.
He posts videos on Facebook sometimes, or he'll go live or whatever and go through the new brewery.
He's got his own channel on YouTube.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I did. I seen this Facebook post the other day. It was like a link to a YouTube video.
Yep. My number four is Roughtail, and then I marked it out because I think Stonecloud does a better job at kicking out new beers, and that's the thing. I want to go to a brewery that every time I go, there's something new. Roughtail, maybe once a month they kick out a new beer. Every 2 months.
They've been kicking out quite a few here lately, but it seems like the stuff that they're posting on their Facebook for their new releases is like basic stuff.
Yeah, like
nothing really crazy. Lagers. Well, they just done like a real crazy stout release for some weird bottle that was, I think it was like 20 something bucks. It was some sort of like brownie imperial stout. I don't remember for sure. I'd have to look, but it was something crazy like that. And I was going to reserve one and did.
Yeah. Like I said, Stonecloud, every 1 to 2 weeks are doing at least one beer. Sometimes they'll do 2 beers a weekend. Like this was the Jam Cherry Cobbler. And, they've done 2 Jam beers in a month and a half. And that's just one part of their series. Then they got other stuff they release. I do have one of their hard seltzer smoothies in the fridge still to review. Those are amazing. It doesn't matter if it sounds disgusting. If they're hard seltzer smoothies are on tap or in cans, you have to try it. So Stonecloud has the highest, from what I can tell, out of everybody on our list, they have the highest sit down and drink prices. So keep that in mind. All right. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Vanessa House.
Okay. What's your reason?
They've been kicking out a lot of really good beers here lately. Their tap room is pretty freaking awesome. All the old school video game style. I like the spot. I don't know that the parking lot that I parked in belongs to them, but
probably not.
It's close. Probably not. I don't think it did. I parked there anyway, but I really like their tap room. They're real bright colors, big giant open windows. Vanessa House has been around for a long time since I've started doing this, really. I mean, not too long after. And from their, old stuff, their 1109, all those old beers like that are all still good. Broken Tile, I can still drink all that.
Yeah, and those beers are still relevant today, even though they were made, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
My number 3 is Battered Boar. They're in Edmond, right on the outskirts of. Actually, they're still in Oklahoma City, aren't they?
They are in the north. Yes.
Yeah, right. Like literally across the street is Edmond. You have to have a wizard with a staff with his own GPS to tell you how to get there. It's off in its own industrial district, and you got to drive off around these big metal buildings to find Battered Boar. But
It's worth it.
Their beers might be pricey, but then you look at the percentage and you realize you're looking at 15 beers that the lowest percentage is 8. And if it says it's like lime and salt, it's like a margarita in a beer. And it's amazing. Their cherry cobbler, their blackberry cobbler, anything that they have, their Mill Fuel, their Borchata, all their beers are great. I love them all. Owned and brewed by a bunch of great people. There's nothing else I can say about Battered Boar.
My number 2 is Battered Boar. They're right down the road from me. Every beer I was buying some of their beers from Josh when they were still on 2nd Street that were a year and a half old that's been sitting in a box in a liquor store, and they were still really good. Those I bought cases of the coconut cream stout, and they were really.
And they still got the coconut cream stout on tap, and I think the last time I had it, my wife got it, and it literally tastes like a almond joy.
A freaking almond joy, yes, yeah. Dude. The last time I was in there, that was the first one I got, and they've been boring that from the beginning. They've just started changing the coconut and stuff that they use. That shit is wild. But then their chocolate covered cherry beer, I don't remember exactly what it was called. It was something I think it was called the C word. That shit was amazing. It was literally I don't like the chocolate covered cherries. I don't buy the boxes of them and eat them. But that beer was a chocolate covered cherry without the nasty cream around it, and I loved it. And they're fixing to have axe throwing.
Oh yeah, they bought the building next to them, and it's they're going to make that into more of a tap room area, more of a production area, because literally, with their peanut butter and jelly beer that they're doing, it takes them 4 months to make it, and it's gone in a week. And
I still haven't even had it.
Yeah, me neither. But Mike said the next time it's brewed up, I'm going to get a couple bottles of it. So, all right. So my number 2, that's what we're on, right?
Yep.
My number 2 was Vanessa House. If you're looking for the best sours, the smoothie sours, their stouts are good. They just kick out some really interesting beers. It's 5 guys who own it, not the burger company. But it's, oh man, they're always kicking out great beers, and like Brad said, it's a very big open space. Their parking is kind of limited, but remember that city parking is your parking downtown. So just drive around the corner and park somewhere else.
Yeah, parallel parks.
Yeah, or park in the parking lot next to the brewery that's actually allocated, I think, to a business.
It is.
Or was it a business
Like
or apartments? Or
it's like a construction company, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's what was all over that's what all the trucks were that were there the day I parked there.
Yeah.
But there were people walking from around the corner coming out because I went on last time I was on a release day.
Yeah. So basically, if you're in Oklahoma City area, if you're in Oklahoma area, it's worth the trip to Vanessa House to go.
Yeah, I would agree. Vanessa House is definitely one. If you only have time to go to a couple, Vanessa House would be one of them. Because like Battered Boar being my number 2, it's far away from like downtown Oklahoma City.
And I think Vanessa House has some of the better taps. You know, they might have 16, but I guarantee you over 3/4 of them you're probably going to like. And it's very descriptive, very up to date. They change out their taps often.
Everything's retro. I love it.
Oh yeah, everything's retro. You can go play Street Fighter on an arcade game when you're there.
They got games in there. The day I was in there was kids in there. There was a guy and a lady that had a dog inside.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and right
it's a real
across
cool
the street,
place.
right across the street is Pizza Place, so you can go get pizza there. And they usually have food trucks too.
Do the food trucks park in that parking lot?
Oh, right up front. Them and Stonecloud have probably the most food trucks out of the 2 on my list. All right, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Prairie.
Okay.
Prairie's tap room is in a great spot. It's pretty big. They've always got great beers. I mean, beers that people have been really, if you think about it, it's maybe not so much lately, but people all around the world want Prairie beers. That's kind of what got us in touch with Todd, was he wanted to try Prairie beers. That's what I sent him, like a shit pot of Prairie beers, the first box that I sent him. And everybody wants to try them. They're all really good, from the stuff stuff they put in gas stations now is all amazing. The Rainbow Sherbet, the Blueberry Boyfriend, all the, you can go buy a regular ass Prairie Bomb, one of the very first stouts that I ever had, and that shit's still good to this day.
And they tweak the shit out of their bombs. Like they'll have Christmas bomb, the birthday bomb.
Always using different coffees, different chocolates, different chilies.
They change the coffees up twice in the bombs.
Yeah.
So, can you guess my number 1?
Yeah, I think so.
What is it?
I think it's Prairie too.
Prairie OKC. The thing about, Prairie Tulsa shit the bed. They're gone. It's because of COVID. But Prairie OKC, they're thriving. Every time I go there, there's a lot of people there. It's
always busy.
Sometimes it's hard to find a place to sit. There's a coffee place in Prairie OKC area, like in the same building. Vietnamese food. You can go get some pho. And there's still a few empty spots. I'm sure they're going to be having those filled pretty soon. The tap rooms.
Yeah.
I'd say the tap room's kind of small for the beers that they kick out and the quality. But I do.
Yeah, but being right by the railroad tracks and stuff, I think is real cool too.
Oh yeah. Like you'll see the train drive by like 40 feet from the damn tap room.
Stop.
And since it's its own brew pub, they're kicking out their own special Prairie beers, stuff you cannot get anywhere else, which is really interesting. You can see everything's in glass, so you can see everything that they're brewing.
Oh yeah, we went in there and crushed some fucking crazy stouts.
Yep. Every day they're filling crowlers. Sometimes they'll have like special Prairie OKC beers that they're releasing that you can get in crowlers. Sometimes they'll do limited runs. I've done reviews of stuff that they've only done like 30 crowlers a day. And All good beers. There's hardly anything I've gotten from Prairie I'd say is below like a 7. There's been some stuff that's been, right up on the cusp there, but usually it's really good.
I agree. I like the shit out of Prairie. Prairie's definitely one you can go to that's within walking distance of others.
Oh, yeah. And since, like I said, Skydance is coming in, block one way is Skydance, 2 blocks one way is Vanessa House, and don't even go the other direction. So let's go to our top 3 breweries. I should say bottom 3 breweries. We think you should just not bother wasting your time to go to. Brad, you want to start with number 3?
My number 3 is Twisted Spike.
Okay. What's your reason?
Twisted Spike has a lot going for them. They've got a great location. The train car inside the tap room. They've got a freaking wall of taps that they don't use. It's like they all, every time you go in there, they always have the same stuff. And it honestly seems like it gets worse every time I try it. I don't know. Like I said, they've got a lot going for them. That's why they're number 3 on my bad list. They just, I don't know. It's like they've got a crowd of people that they want to stick to pleasing, and that's all they really want to do. Their anniversary party we went to, they had a lot of really good beers there that they brewed just for that party, and they ain't done shit like that since. Yeah.
Now remember, these are our lists. We're not saying you should not go. We're letting you know what we personally think. That's the thing about personal preference. If it's not your personal preference, speak it. If you think someone's full of shit, tell them. But everybody has an opinion. My number 3 is 405. If you like beers that are not like any other beer you've ever had or even thought about having, 405 is your place to go. If you thought, you know what, I've never had a peach puree IPA that tastes like a white wine with a slight sour funk on the tail end, fuck it, go. It's not my jam. Speaking of jam, their fluff butter, nutter, cocksucker, bottle of dick cheese, sour, whatever the hell it was we had. It was the worst smelling beer I've ever had in my entire life. It was like your washer backed up.
It was disgusting.
It stunk. It stunk. It had chunks of dick cheese in it. It was cream cheese, but
gross. It's so gross.
No, not a fan of 405. Not a fan at all. All right, so what's number 2?
Yeah. My number 2 is 405.
Okay.
I've only been to their tap room once. That's not.
I forgot to mention their tap room looks like an office space.
Yeah, their tap room is shit. I think I've had a lot of 405 beers from even, just singles off the shelf when 2nd Street was still open to, oh my God, this new 405 beer. And 99% of it's ass. Like, I've had one beer from them, and I'm pretty sure it was some sort of IPA when everybody in Oklahoma was going crazy on the hazy IPAs. I think they had one back then. I couldn't remember what it was called if I wanted to, but it was pretty good. But other than that, everything. And you can buy it at gas stations, and it's all ass.
Yep.
So they kick out a lot of beer, and it's all ass.
Well, some of their stuff, like their OG FDR I had years ago, was actually pretty decent, but I haven't had an FDR since. But every time they seem like they tweak the FDR to make it something different, they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, their FDR, I don't even know. The first time I had it wasn't when it was new, and it was okay, but, you could buy better stouts that you can get on the shelf of any liquor store for sure.
Yeah. They're the first people I've ever had a stout that actually had like a sour note to it, like a sour cherry note stout, and it didn't taste like a stout. It just was sour and gross.
Oh,
Tasted infected.
So like one of the nasty stouts that go bad that taste like pennies and shit.
It was sour raspberry. What it was.
Yeah.
It was their Valentine's Day stout. When I did 2 or 3 other raspberry stouts in Oklahoma City reviewed. And all of them were raspberry stout. This was sour raspberry liquid. Weird.
Yeah, fuck that. I avoid them.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Twisted Spike. the last time we went there was with Brad, his wife, and my wife. We sat down and did some reviews. I don't know the dude's name. I'm not going to describe what he looked like. He just seemed like he was busy doing something else. Like he was not ready to help people. He was just standing there tapping his fingers, asking us what we wanted. We told him, not even a thank you, nothing. It just, I think some of the beers might have been okay, but Twisted Spike isn't a brewery that kicks out anything new. If you remember their old stuff that they were selling in singles was retarded prices. It was really dumb, stupid prices.
Yeah, like I think I paid like $6 or something for a 12-ounce bottle of what is it? Is that the milk stout?
Oh, okay. No, yeah, the milk stout.
And it's like watery as fuck. Like I know a milk stout's supposed to be like that, but it don't even taste like a stout. It's like brown water. There's really no flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's way overpriced.
Okay, well they're burnt to a crisp now. I think we're done roasting them. What's your number one?
Anthem.
Okay.
I've never been to their tap room, so I'm not going to comment on that. But their beer fucking sucks. Like I think I've had. Do what?
Their golden one was pretty awful.
Their golden one was the first Anthem beer I ever had. It was not too long after I started talking to you about beer. I found it at a local liquor store. I found a single, and I bought done like a pick six or whatever, and it had been in the fridge for a couple of days, and I got in the shower and took it with me. It was going to be my shower beer, and the first drink I took out of it, I drank it out of the can like a savage, but it tasted like straight vomit. I remember that to this day. It tasted like you threw up in your mouth and then choked it down. It was bad.
I know, like their Euroboros is you have to have an accustomed taste to it. Like if you're brand new stouts and you think that's what stouts are, you're done with stouts the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one for sure. I tried it not that long ago since they've done like all the rebranding and stuff on it, and it's still weird. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even really know how to describe it. That Christmas beer that they put out that we reviewed, I actually have one of those in the closet. Yeah.
Okay. I did like a 2018 or 19 Festivus, and it was like apple pie, one of the best beers I've ever had in my life, honestly, if I was to rank it. But then I had the next year's, and it was something completely different. It wasn't even the same beer, and I hated it. It was boozy as shit. It's like 18% of crap.
Man, the one that I've got's not the high percentage and nowhere near that high, but I'm pretty sure we'd done it together. When I lived at the other house, like you were there, we'd done them together. Maybe, I don't think it was Casey. I think it was just me and you. I think we done like grunt style shirt videos and then beer reviews. I'm almost, like I said, I've still got one if you want to try it. It's from last Christmas or 2019 Christmas, I guess.
All right.
But that's definitely my number one. They've only had one beer that I ever really thought, hey, that's a pretty fucking good beer. And that was one that they made specifically for the Craft Beer Festival.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say my number one is a wild card because it covers a wide range of things. Anything in Norman. If you go to Oklahoma City to look for beer, stay out of Norman. 405's there. Lazy Circles is there. Black Mesa's there. Black Mesa's gas station beer. Lazy Circles is...
That's being nice.
I had 3 things from Lazy Circles. Not one of them was good. 2 was reviewed.
I've never had anything from Lazy Circles that I like. I know I've had maybe 2. I think 2.
Yeah.
Black Mesa, I definitely agree. It's gas station beer. It's like Budweiser, Shiner Bock. It's that kind of lager. It's gas station beer.
Now, Cross Cannons is the best in Norman, but not worth the trip to Norman. That's why I'm saying it. I'm not saying Cross Cannons is bad. Anything in Norman is not worth that much of a drive. You're better off driving from the middle of downtown OKC all the way to Battered Boar and Roughtail.
And if you're in Edmond, you can hit Frenzy too. They got a nice tap room, and their beers are pretty good.
Yeah,
that's an honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention. All right, so was that it?
Yeah, that covers my list. I guess I can still throw in the fuck you, I'm sorry.
No? So I want to discuss coming soon to Oklahoma City. Skydance is in, like I said, in the middle of doing their brewery. Cross Timbers is, and I just found them literally 2 hours ago. Fair Weather Friend. They're gonna be a new brewery downtown.
I seen something about that on Facebook, maybe yesterday.
Yeah, they've apparently been building this shit for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I've never heard anything of it.
I'm sure they'd already be open if it wasn't for COVID, but
Probably.
all right. So that's our long list of breweries to hit and places to stay away from. Like I said, it's all about personal preference. It all depends on what you want. Just because something's in a description doesn't mean it's, truth. I could have in my description making the top quality videos showing you exactly how everything is in life, and it's not.
Our lists were pretty fucking close, too.
Yeah.
The only difference in our top 5 was you had Stonecloud and I had Skydance. And Stonecloud would definitely be my number 6 because, they have really good beers. They have really shitty parking. I don't think... Can you even go in there and drink right now?
Stonecloud, yeah.
Oh, you can now? I know up until not that long ago, I thought you couldn't up until just last month or something.
When I went in there to get this beer, there were people sitting down drinking. I do know they've had, I think, 2 or 3 COVID outbreaks of people who work there.
Maybe that's what it is. Where they were still doing curbside pickup or something,
Yeah.
but nothing else.
So they're doing their COVID lager come next week.
And other than that, they've got really good beers.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little pricey, once they make it to the liquor store.
All right, so there you go. Let me know below what you think about Oklahoma breweries, if you've been to any of these breweries. If this list helped you, if it hurt you, if it touched your no-no spot, I don't care. All right, we'll be seeing you.
If it touched your no-no spot.